Hi everyone, David Cassidy from Christ Community Church, continuing with you today during these very difficult and uncertain times with a daily devotional, and we're going through the book of Jeremiah together, not verse by verse, but just some key passages. And we come today in chapter 12 to one of the most well-known passages in the prophet Jeremiah, where Jeremiah offers in some ways a complaint before God, and God answers him. I'm going to begin in verse 1 of chapter 12. Righteous are you, O Lord, and I would plead my case with you. I would discuss matters of justice with you. He asks God a question. Why has the way of the wicked prospered? Why are all those who deal treacherously at ease? And then Jeremiah goes on to describe the treacherous and the unfaithful that he sees in the land of Judah, who are at ease and who are prospering, and he wonders why God isn't dealing with them. He says, you, Lord, are near to their lips, but far from their mind. And then he says, God, you know me. You know me, you see me. You examine my heart's attitude to you. In other words, God, why are the wicked doing so well, but those who fear you doing so badly? What's up with that? This seems unjust. You might think that God would, on that occasion, say, well, Jeremiah, I understand. Things are hard right now, and I want to bring you comfort, and I want to bring you peace. Let me have this conversation with you. No. That's not at all how God responds. Listen to God's response. Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 5. If you have run with the footmen and they have tired you out, then how can you compete with horses? If you fall down in the land of peace, how will you do in a thicket of the Jordan? This is a hard word. If you, it's like God saying, if you can't stand the heat, pal, get out of the kitchen. You may not be used to God saying that kind of thing to someone. Jeremiah was a young man. He was early days of ministry, and he's distraught. He sees injustice. He sees unrighteousness. He wonders why God isn't acting. After all, God should be acting. One of the perils of youth is haste. We want to see God act, and we want to see him do it now. We don't like living with uncertainty. We have principles. These things are right. These things are wrong. It's all very black and white, isn't it? And these things should be taken care of immediately. And then when it doesn't happen the way that we think it should happen, we become dismayed. Uncertainty begins to creep in. And we complain. God, why aren't you acting? Why haven't you done what we think you ought to do when we think you ought to do it? To this young prophet, God says, if you have been running with the footmen and you're tired by that, how are you going to run with horses? In other words, Jeremiah, what's coming is far more taxing than anything you're experiencing right now. Rather than not offering him any comfort whatsoever, God says, Jeremiah, I know you think things are bad right now. Things are about to get a whole lot worse. It's going to require a great deal of faith and patience from you, of trust in me, and letting me do my work in my time and in my way. I've called you to announce my word, not to understand every single ounce of strategy that I have in my mind. I don't owe you those explanations, Jeremiah. And if you don't like that, then you're going to have to stop speaking for me. Jeremiah, of course, understands, and he turns to God and asks for strength. That's what we need. We're all going to face times of great uncertainty, and often God does bring comfort to us in our uncertainty. I'm filled with uncertainty right now. I don't know how long all of this is going to go on. I don't know why all this is happening. I don't know where it's taking us. We're all trying to figure out how we respond to the circumstances around us, and we are tempted to complain. But as God's people, we trust him. He doesn't owe us any explanations. And the truth is, things could get worse, a lot worse, before they get better. And so it's time for us to seek the strength of God. Jeremiah, if you've been running with men and that's worn you out, what's going to happen when you have to keep up with the horses? Friends, whatever God requires of us, he will give us grace to match that commission. Paul said, God's power was perfected in his weakness. Let's not pretend we're strong. Let's not say, well, I can do this. I can get through this if I just get tough. No, let's confess our weakness and say, Lord, you be my strength. Teach me to wait. Teach me to wait patiently for you to act. I know you, Lord. You are righteous and true, and you will bring to pass what you have spoken. I pray the Lord blesses you today and grants you the grace you need for the day you face. God's blessing be upon you today. Amen.